former mayor of Joburg, Mpho Moerane, in hospital after a car accident. The circumstances surrounding the accident are still sketchy. The ANC in Joburg says the former mayor is in a critical but stable condition. He's receiving medical attention. This comes just as he was due to contest for the position of chair at the ANC's Johannesburg Regional Conference. Joined for more on this by our reporter Pelane Phakgadi. Pelane, good afternoon to you. In a way, what makes the story is the circumstances around this. You've got this car accident. You've got Jolly D. Matango, former mayor, passing away in a car accident, and Jeff Okubo passing away before him.
Look, the unfortunate incident we hear, Stephen, coming out of the ANC in Johannesburg, and you've heard already, as you've put it, he's in a critical condition, and we are told, but currently stable at a hospital after that horrific accident just last night. But I'm sure the leaders and the REC members of the ANC must be at pains, Stephen, given the fact that two members of the region elected just 3 years ago have unfortunately passed on. Jeff, you've named him due to COVID, and as well as just a few months later, Jolly D. Matango involved in a fatal accident. They were both mayors at the times of their deaths. Now Moerane fighting for his life, and the hope is that he gets better quite soon. So the story really is not more about the accident in itself. Accidents happen all the time, Stephen, affecting scores of people. But here, we are talking about Moerane's candidature at the regional conference of the ANC that was scheduled for this particular weekend, provided that all disputes about the BBGMs would have been handled and finalized in the greater Johannesburg region. So, Stephen, what does this now perhaps mean? I mean, it's a big question. What does this mean for his lobby group, as they may have wished that he becomes their champion, as he has been, and to try and finalize their campaign at this stage? And lobbying happens until the very last minute, as you've seen in Eastern Cape, and champions are usually at the center of it. And I'm sure the group is hoping that Moerane could at least accept nomination as per ANC guidelines when an individual is not present at an elections venue. He puts, to you, this really puts to you, Stephen, that his accident happened at the worst possible time. We should also add that there's a chance of conference being postponed to next week to make way for the dispute committees to deal with the outstanding disputes. That may be the lifeline that they are waiting for.
It's a very complicated position, because now there's going to be quite an awful political fight about whether it should be postponed or not. Now, the people who want to contest against him are going to say, well, it's scheduled, we need to go ahead, we need leadership in the city of Joburg, and I think we could argue that the ANC probably does need leadership in the city of Joburg. But you've got a man in ICU, and it also depends on his recovery. He may not want to do it.
He may not want to do it. And depending on his recovery, as per guidelines, my understanding is that he will have to send a letter, having signed it, to say, yes, I'm available for this particular nomination. And if he's still critical, he may not be able to do that. And perhaps that may be the push from the other lobby group, that they say, let us just continue the conference. But disputes as well is not his critical condition is not the only thing halting this particular. There are disputes that need to be handled and finalized. If the disputes from the BBGMs are not finalized, that just might be the lifeline that the lobby group of Mpho Moerane might be looking for, so that it can be postponed to finalize, to let the dispute committees to finalize the disputes, so that the conference is not disputed, at least at the court of law, through the litigations, which might just nullify the outcomes, because there were already disputes from certain branches that says we have certain reservations about the delegates or whatever that they may say that they are having as their dispute. So two things at this particular point, and I'm sure the aim is to try and have it continue, but the disputes as well will play a critical role.
And we can't underestimate how important the region of Joburg is to the ANC. It's not nearly as big as eThekwini, for example, but it's significant. If you control Johannesburg, you control Gauteng. If you control Gauteng, well, you're very important nationally. The ANC at the moment sort of controls Gauteng, but maybe if not much longer, doesn't control Joburg. Someone like Mpho Moerane, with all of his experience, having served under various people, all of that's absolutely vital to the ANC, I would suggest.
Very vital, and very vital to those who we are told he may have been going to pronounce for the provincial leadership structures when the ANC provincial conference actually does sit, because now that would have meant that with him being there, then he would then say, well, I pronounce Lebogang Mailo, I pronounce Panyaza Lisufi, and this in its sense will give you an indication that the provincial conference now will start to shape up to give you an indication of who may just take it, because we have Ikurulene that also has to sit, we have Tswane that also have to sit, and just that Johannesburg, as you put it, very important, would have given us an indication as to what's to come in 2024.
Pelane Phakgadi, thank you very much indeed for that update. The timing around that car accident, just so unfortunate in so many ways. Not the first time we've seen problems with cars, and of course we all know how dangerous our roads can be.